Well, welcome to Stencils and Such. We have a new stencil. In fact, there are 3 of them in this package. This comes from Crafter's Companion, and I am so delighted to have it for you. This is a 9.5 inch by 9.5 inch series of stencils, and you can do so much with these. In fact, here is one example. So please come play with us. Okay, we're going to get started. So as I said, there are 3 stencils, and let me show them to you. They are all labeled at the upper left-hand corner. So this says Orkney stencil 1, this way up, and there are holes on the sides. We're not going to be using that, but we will show you that. And there's number 2, and there's number 3. So they've been taken apart with these stencils, of course. And in this case, to make this card, and I just want to show you, this is on black cardstock, and you can see lots of gold and silver. So there's some foiling we'll do at the very end, but there's also some inking, and then some dazzles have been added, and this is placed on silver glitter, so really pretty. But we're going to start with the cardstock. Now, in the directions, it's going to tell you the size to cut the cardstock. You do want to cut it larger than your final piece. Why? Because you want to be able to attach it to your craft mat. And we're using Hunky Dory's low tack tape, which goes forever, but it just gives us a stability for it, and also a stability for the stencils. So in our first one, we're going to place this. And you really kind of can't go wrong because, as I said, this is such a large stencil, which is nice. Be great for scrapbooking too. So with this, we will also use the low tack tape and just position it like so. So nothing is going to be wiggling. That's the idea. Now, for the first one, we're going to be using 2 ink pads. And the first one is the silver ink pad. And here it is. This is the Midas Metallic Pigment ink. And we're just going to ink it through the holes that are there. You can do it direct, or you can use it with a blender or here we go, with the daubers. So you can do it any way you like. I think that I will go straight, okay? So here we go. Now this is going to get on our stencil. So you know what? I'm going to use a dauber for this time because we're going to be using the stencil again. And I just want to tell you also, I have a tray with water because I'm going to need to make this clean it off so that we can go into our next phase. So just going right up that row, and that's all we're doing. I'm thinking I probably should have done the ink pad direct because that's going to make it faster. So let me do that. So here we go. So there's nothing hard with this, and because I can see through the holes, I can see where I am inking, and this is just going directly. Now, before I lift, or when I go to lift this off, I'm going to just take a peek because I want to make sure that I have really done all of the areas that I intended to do. Yes, you see how much faster that goes with doing just the ink pad. Now, I'm not going to take the whole one off. I'm just going to lift this. Okay, so I think I'm going to go back a little bit more, and just to make that nice and solid. So that's a good tip, is to lift your stencil, but only one side of it. That way, no surprises. With these tiny areas, it would be a little tricky to line it up again. Not impossible, but a little tricky. Okay, there we go. So that's great. Now I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to place it in my thing of water, and I'm going to put the lid back on my ink pad. And now I want to go with number 2 stencil, and here it is. And I'm going to place it the same way. So I want to have it about at the same area. as I did my first one. There I go. And same thing, going to use my low-tack tape. I can reuse the pieces. Now this is going to be gold, and you know, gold and silver on that black is just stunning, absolutely stunning. Now this kind of has two, it almost looks like two rows blended together. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to go up those rows. Let's see, there we go. I have written the item number on the back of it because this is what we use when we're designing. And you can see that these are not equally spaced, just a little irregularly spaced. But I'm just going down all of those rows. Now, probably I won't need the furthest one out because my cardstock isn't that big. But I love having the ability to make larger areas. So you can do slimline cards, you can do, you know, larger ones. So let me hold that. By the way, this is our new gold ink pad. Oh, that didn't quite go through, did it? Okay, so I need to do something. Let me try this. For some reason, that just didn't go through. And maybe this ink pad. Okay, let me see if that's going better. Let me lift this up and see if I'm, there we go, that's perfect. Okay, well, I guess good idea that I did it two ways, because you can see that sometimes the ink pad will work perfectly just directly to the stencil, and sometimes you'll need to use a dauber. So I'm just going right up, and we will. I kind of want to do the whole piece for you. The next step, I'm actually going to have to let it dry. So I'll have to come back and finish it. And that's going to be the foiling. And I'm very excited about the foiling because I think I've told you this, but I looked long and hard to get a foiling that did not require you to buy another piece of equipment and would do the foiling simply with pressure, not with heat. And so what we have will do that. Okay, so I hope I'm done. Okay, let's see. Ah, gorgeous. Okay, just a little bit on this one. I guess I really am showing you why it's important not to just lift that stencil off, but to double check it, because you don't want to surprise. This is supposed to be fun, not frustrating, right? Are you shaking your head yes? I think I can see you shaking your head yes. Okay, now let's see if that did it. Yes, it did. So you have a good look there. So that's stencil number 2. And stencil number 3, we are going to use the magic of tacky when wet, tacky when dry, excuse me, tacky when dry. Now, this is a product that has to dry. So let me place this. And this is going to go in this middle area. And it's nice because I can see through the template to position that. So it's got these little lines, and then it's got this heavy line. Now the tacky when dry is exactly that. It's going to, let me show you what it looks like. It kind of looks like butter. In fact, stencil butter is another product that the Crafters Workshop makes. You can see, look at that. It's just light and fluffy. Very, very neat. So all I'm going to do is to put it to go in these areas. So I just need those. So I'm going to spread it this way, and then go like this. Bring it through. And just go the whole way. Now, this is going to be a very thin coating, which means it's going to dry pretty quickly, but you can't do anything until it's dry. And it will still stay tacky, just like the name tells you. And you'll know it is dry when it is clear. So you can see that it's white as I'm spreading it on, but it will be clear when it dries, and you really just have to let it do that. You don't want it milky at all. And so it's just so easy. And did you see how little I pulled out of the container? So it just doesn't take much. In fact, I will have some to put back into the container. And I'm just making sure you can hear it screech a little bit. Okay, so this is all going to go back in. Now, this is another case where you absolutely, positively want to get this in water so that it will not dry on the stencil. We want it to dry on the cardstock, but not on the stencil. So I'm going to lift this up. There you go. And I'm putting it in my bath over here. Now we're going to have to let this dry and it will be clear. So we will now pause and get ready for our second project. I'll be right back. Okay, this is our next card, and you can see there's a lot more. Well, first of all, there's more color, and this is on white cardstock, and a lot more of the stenciling going on. So let me show you how Debbie did that. We're going to work, as I said, on a piece of white cardstock. You want to have a 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch. Again, you want to have it bigger than the area you're going to need, and you can see that this cardstock is much bigger than the area that I need. And in this case, we're going to take our stencil number 1 again and position it as so, and take our low tack tape, same deal, just place both of them and tape both of them. And you can see why you would want to secure them down, and all you need is just a couple of pieces of tape. Now, if you wanted to, you could also secure down your craft mat. Now, that isn't straight, is it? So I'm going to adjust this like so. Okay, and you can see that my tape is coming in, but that's only because I only need this middle area. So I've got stencil number 1. You can see the writing, so I know it's the right side up. And I'm going to take ink pads this time, and this is Orchid. In fact, we're going to be using Orchid and lipstick and Vintage Rose, so all in the pink collection, kind of pink purple. And with this, we're going to use the daubers again, because we did that a little bit last time. So actually last time we did the dauber, we did it direct to paper, and then we also used the palette knife. So kind of got everything going. So I'm going to just do this, and so that I don't kind of waste your time doing the same thing over and over, we're just going to speed up. So I won't be talking. We'll just be doing this quickly. So see you in a minute. You can, and I'm going to lift it, make sure I got it all over, and I did. Then we're going to lift this up and turn it 45 degrees. So we're just going to make a rotation like that, and we're going to place it down again. Make sure everything's straight. Now, I didn't go clear out here or here or here because I know I'm just going to get that oval in the middle. So have that, and going to go again, same thing, same color with the same stencil. So again, we will speed this up. Okay, look at that. Isn't that neat? Now, you know what happens to this stencil? It's going to go into my water just to make sure that that stays. Okay, so that is our orchid. Now I'm going to take the number 2 stencil and place it on top. And we're going to be coloring this with, make sure I get it straight. This is going to be with lipstick. I'm going to do the same thing with a dauber, and it's going to, I want to make sure that's where I want it. I think I'll move it a little bit up. There we go, so that it's not overlapping any of the earlier stencil. Okay, here we go. I know this doesn't seem exciting to watch, but the end result is wonderful. Okay, let me see how that looks. Ooh, isn't that interesting? Okay, now I'm going to take this one and rotate it 45 degrees, so that's just one turn. And I'm going to put this down and let's see. This is interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put it where I don't have any other lines colored, and we're going to do the same thing. I'll be right back. Okay, now, so you can go directly. Okay, so we've got more of the dark. This too is going into the water bath. Put the lid on your ink pad always. And number 3, okay, you can probably guess what we're going to do. This is going to go right in the middle, and we will place it like so. Now you can just decide how you want to do this, but I kind of want to make sure that it's not on any of the other colors. So I could have it go there or there. I'll just put it where you see it. Now, low tack, and this time it's the vintage rose. Now, see if I can do it directly. I bet I can. Okay. That sure makes it faster, doesn't it? So every time you're inking, and then you are lifting it and turning it just a quarter turn. So that's 45 degrees. And in this case, it's just the 3 rows on the center. I just want to make sure that my ink is getting there. And probably the juicier your ink pad, well, I guess you just want to make sure. It's nice that these ink pads from Hunky Dory have these grooves on the side, so it just makes them really easy to handle. Okay, how does this look? Okay, now, same deal, 45 degrees, and we'll put it down there. So what this is doing, and actually, I don't know that I actually even have to do this again, because, in fact, I'm not going to do it again, because I think you've got the whole idea about this, and you can imagine what's going on. So here is what this is going to look like. Here's a snippet of it, so you can see everything ends up getting colored. And here is the final result. So you can see it's just a beautiful pattern, and using those 3 colors, and you could certainly use, you know, 2 colors, 3 colors. 3 colors is probably it. Now, what Debbie did is she wanted to cut that out in a shape, so you can see that she used the oval and scallop dies, and this is the largest straight line. She didn't use the scalloped one, but cut that out. And she did do a bit of edging around the outside with that last color. No, excuse me, she used that with the orchid. So you can see that that's been inked. Now she placed this on a paper that comes from a nesting place, and you can kind of see it right here. And so she covered her 5 by 6.5 inch card with that pink. She did some inking with the orchid around the edge, and did that same inking around her oval and glued that down. Those 2 are flat. And then she went into the nesting place die cuts. And these die cuts will just pop right out. There are 31 of them in a package. And this is what she put. And notice she put it over to the right a little bit, not directly in the middle, but just a little bit. She did that, I'm sure, to be so that you could really see this. And it's just really nice. Now, she also did a bit of ribbon, and the ribbon comes from the magenta and dark pink set. In fact, you can see that 1/8 inch ribbon in there. And she let that thread through the hole in the tag and tuck those ends behind her card or into her card. And then the dazzles that she's got, this is from a brand new set. It is called Petite Dazzles. And it's a 4-pack, and I think you can see it. There are some tiny words: follow your dream, follow your dreams, peace, love, be yourself. And then you've got these frames, and then you've got all of these tiny little ones. So she's taken some of the dragonflies, some of the hearts, this little swirl, and there are tons on here. And there's 4 sheets, so black, white, gold, and silver. Obviously, she used the gold here. And you can see the corners, the swirls, the little bird going into that birdhouse, which is really cute. And that is just taking care of that card. Okay, so that is our second card. Now let me see if the tacky one dry. Nope, it's not dry yet. You can see it's still milky. So we're just gonna keep letting that dry over here. And I'm going to now bring you into the next card. And Lene has done this one. And isn't that gorgeous? So we played with color, gold and silver to begin with, and then those 3 shades of pink and purple. But Lene chose to do this with just a couple of colors, all in the same tone. And here are the colors. She used roasted pumpkin, she used mustard, and she used cocoa bean. Now cocoa bean is obviously the darker, and you can see how beautiful that is. So it's going to be the same thing. Take your piece. Now, this is slightly smaller than 5 by 6.5, so I would take it like 5.5 by 7 inches, and then go ahead and do your inking on your stencils, but you're not going to be turning it. You're just going to leave it flat. But isn't that pretty? So that's going to give you a way that you can use 3 colors, or you could just do it with 2 colors too. Now she did mat this on Songbirds cardstock, so you can see you've got a couple of tones in here. And then to do on top of that beautiful stenciling, she used the Wreath for All Seasons die, and this has this wonderful grapevine wreath, but it also has lots of leaves and flowers. So she also die cut those out of the cardstock, out of the Songbirds. So you're going to go with the brown, you're going to go with the gold, the orange, and maybe even some of the teal, and use the inks on the edges of them. You can see how beautifully they just stack in there. Now everything is glued flat, So that is just very, very nice. Then she used, this is our Grateful, Thankful, Blessed set of dazzles. They are in black, white, gold, and silver. Obviously, gold is here. And I didn't say, but I'm sure you saw it, the wreath was die cut out of that brown that's in the Songbirds cardstock. So it's a beautiful collection. It goes gorgeously with the inks. And Lene is, she really loves using this round blender brush. So that's what she used on the stencils. So, you know, lots of different things that you can do. Now for the bow, well, the bow comes from the burgundy set that is somewhere on my table, but I have lost it. Okay, it's fair to tell you that's the burgundy ribbon set. So a beautiful card, certainly great for this fall season. Okay, I have one more card to show you, and it is this one. And this time, this is also Lene's. She did it on some patterned cardstock, and I loved that she did that. This is on Christmas Memories. This is an 8.5 by 11, and this is the sheet that she used. So it has music notes and is kind of scuffed. So just don't want you to shy away from patterned cardstock, because look what you can do. You just get a beautiful look with that. So what she did is she simply used the letterbox red on all of it, using all 3 of the stencils on the cardstock. And then she took some of the chipboard. Now this is out of Sparkling Season, and you can see it's got Holiday Cheer. Well, she used the letterbox there. And she also used, this is our sparkle pen. Well, this is Crafter's Companion sparkle pen. We do something different with it. We sell it individually, so it's less expensive, of course. And it will tell you in the package, there's a yellow band. You want to remove that. And when you do that, and you prime this so that you get some of the ink up here, and you simply brush it across your whatever you're doing, it will dry right away. And you can, oh, let's get in closer, Jeanette, not further out. And you can see that sparkle that it adds. Really, really nice. Now with the chipboard, this big spray of holly, she used the holly green. That's appropriate, don't you think? And you can see that she didn't do it solid. She just really tipped the ends. But for her dazzles, she used the red dazzles. Now, Lene asked us to do the red dazzles in the shiny, and that's what she has placed here. So you can see they really do look like berries. The other red we have is this one, and it's a sparkly. So you have choices. And Lene uses the jewel picker, and to do that, you're simply going to take the adhesive end, and let's see, she used some of the bigger ones, and you kind of wiggle it on the dazzle sheet. Oh, come on. Okay, I'll take a smaller one. There we go. Come on, lift up there. And so then I can place it wherever I want it. And obviously she's already placed it, so I won't mess up her design. But that works very nicely. So you kind of get the feel for it, that you kind of press down and kind of scoot it, and then it will lift off. So she did those on the doilies. Now in her doily, you're going to get 20, I think, in a package. She did a little bit of the gingerbread on just the very tip of it, okay? And of course, a little bit of red ribbon with that bow just finishes it. And although she did use the music paper, she did take another piece and tore it and put it down here at the end and matted it on that red that comes from the Christmas Past cardstock. So very festive and really very easy to do. So that's nice. I do want to tell you that all of the instructions are down below. Just click on the card that you want, and you can print out the instructions if you like. If this is new for you, it's nice to have those instructions and just to kind of remember, you know, what it's going to look like and what you're going to have. So that's fun. Now, the other thing we have for you is that this is a subscription. What that means is that every month you will get at least 2 stencils. This month you're getting 3, so that's nice. You'll receive a free goodie, and I'll show you that in a minute when we go back and finish that first card. And it's $15 a month plus shipping, but this month it's $12.99 plus shipping. Why is it $12.99? Well, that's because that's the cost of this set of stencils, and we're certainly not going to make it more expensive. You will also get a free goodie, and this time you are going to get, if you have the subscription, you're going to get this set of dazzles. Now, I know that's kind of hard to read, but it says things like Merry Christmas, let's see, joy, ho, 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 'tis the season, and it says Happy New Year. And that's what was on our first card. So if you have the subscription, you're going to get that for free. And by the way, we have it in more colors, so that's fun. Okay, so that's something new for this year. And I'm going to, so the subscription is on the right side of your screen. You will receive your stencils before the webisode so that you can play along with me, or you can get your fingers inky before we get started in the webisode. So, okay, now I do want to go back to our first project, and you can see that this is not completely dry, but it's dry in a couple of spots. So let me do the next step just so that you can see it. And we're going to take our foil. Now this foil is 5 inches by 16 feet. 16 feet. That's great because it's going to last and last, which is always nice. And it comes in a box, which will keep it good for you. Now I'm going to I'm not going to tear, I'm going to cut a piece like this. Now I'm only going to do this in the areas where it is dry, where it's clear. So I'm not going to go in the middle there. So this center part is going to have the gold. So I'm just going to place it on, rub it. And look at that. Very neat. Now, if you've got some areas that didn't get covered, you can do what I'm doing and you'll see it. So can you see how great that is? Yes. Now, for the other 2 areas, we're going to go to silver because this is all silver and gold. And you don't want to throw this away because you can keep using all of these areas. I mean, this will last you for a long, long time, which is always fun. I don't know why that's taped. Okay, now I'm going to do silver on the narrow area. So I'm just going to cut a tiny bit of my foil. Okay, so I've got silver here, right here. Let me just go right onto it. And you notice that I've got the silver facing me. So, look at that. How neato is that? And it is just that easy. So probably 2 things you'll need to remember when doing this is to let the tacky when dry, become transparent, and then also make sure that when you're using this that you don't mix them, because you really want that nice and shiny. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, this will probably be dry in another 15, 20 minutes, but we'll just set it there. Now, the other thing that Debbie did, when she glued this onto her card was covered with silver glitter, and we love that because it's just so pretty. Then she did a straight line dazzle of gold right around the edge of our stencil piece. So she did that. Then she went into the Happy Birthday and Balloons dazzle set. Now this has got 238 balloons, streamers, and stars, and it has 9 birthday greetings. We're not using the birthday greetings. We'll save that for something else. Or you could use it on another card, of course. But she took some of the balloons, and again, she mixed her gold and silver, so they're just down flat. She put the Happy New Year, which is on this sheet that I know you can hardly read because it's so sparkly. Put that on the black cardstock, trimmed it, and then foam taped it on top. You can see the streamers in gold and silver and the stars from that same dazzle package. So there you go. That's a lot of stuff that you can do with this stencil set, and I predict that you will have so much fun playing with colors and sometimes turning the stencils, sometimes not. You'll just have to see as you are working with the stencils and stuff. Now, if you are watching us on YouTube, we hope that you will like us and subscribe and do all of those things. Then head all over to paperwishes.com. That's the only place that you can get these dazzles. And of course, we have the Webisodes for you. And we carry all the products, so that works nicely. You can also see our Money Saver. Now, our Money Saver has the three stencils as well as this dazzle. However, of course, if you subscribe, this is free to you, but you can purchase it in our Money Saver. And also, just take advantage of that Money Saver. And we do have a subscription. Where is my subscription? Oh my goodness. Oh, there it is. Sorry. There it is. Our stencils and such, as I said, you can see it. It's on the right-hand side of the screen with the Money Saver. Okay, that's it for this time. I think you can see it's a lot of fun. And we're all very excited that we're doing this. It's giving us a lot of ideas and a new way to use the creativity, and that's always fun without a lot of money, and that makes us happy too, because we always want to take care of your pocketbook. Okay, I want to thank Lene and Debbie for doing, as always, a fabulous job. I want to thank you most of all for being a part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.